As we celebrate 78th Independence Day, our attention should also go to another anniversary 22 years away. In 2047, we will celebrate India's 100th anniversary. While it will be a big milestone in country's history, it's upon us if it will be a memorable one. During his Independence Day speech in 2022, as India celebrated 75 years of its independence, Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave a long-term vision for a developed nation. Since then, it is being called Viksit Bharat 2047 vision. The vision of India being a developed nation would mean that we will be $30 trillion economy by then, with a per capita income of $18,000 per annum. The Viksit Bharat is a nudge to country's policy making and a political narrative towards building a developed nation and the next superpower by 2047. This has since been reflected in the union budget through increased expenditure on infrastructure, jobs creation, and skill building. To reach the ambitious target of $30 trillion economy, the GDP would have to grow 9 times from today's $3.36 trillion, and the per capita income would have need to rise 8 times from the current $2,392 per annum. Many experts believe this target would require some deft maneuvering and some big reforms. India, which has overtaken China in terms of population earlier than estimated, would be number 2 in economy if we reach 30 trillion mark, overtaking USA. The transition from a middle income to a higher income group country would require sustained growth in the range of 7 to 10% for the next 20-30 years. Only a few countries have managed to do so in the last 70 years. The 2047 target has to be much more than a monetary one. It would have to signify a good quality of life for its individuals and enable a society which is vibrant, culturally rich, and harmonious. India's strength lies in its demographic dividend. With a population of over 144 crores, India is one of the youngest nations with a median age of 29 years. Currently, nearly half of the country's population is below 25 years of age. This also accounts for nearly 20% of world's total young population. This is enormous opportunity which is likely to last till 2047 before we have an aging population. Currently, the population above 60 years of age constitute nearly 10% of our India's population. This will double in 2047, posing a fresh challenge to deal with aging population in terms of healthcare and social security. Much has changed in the recent decades. Today's India is much more confident and aspirational. But the biggest challenge before the developed nation tag would be to reduce the urban and rural income gaps, increase the competitiveness of the manufacturing sector so that they contribute to the GDP, reduce energy dependency on other countries, prepare our cities to deal with the increasing population, as over 50% of the population would be staying in the urban areas by 2047. There are many challenges for India to become a developed nation by 2047, but it's a welcome start to dream of that outcome. The journey would be the key. The idea would gain life of its own when it's embraced by the people. The week invited some of the finest minds to imagine India in 2047 with all these challenges and the opportunities. They have written for the week's Independence Day special package. For a superpower, the road goes through self-reliance and the capabilities in terms of food security, energy sufficiency, defense, space, and even producing world-class sportspersons. India's bid for 2036 Olympics showcases that confidence and may help in creating sporting culture which is currently skewed in the favor of cricket. The possibilities are endless on this path to development. It's not just Happy Independence Day 2024. Let's prepare for Happy India 2047.